Hi, welcome to Senior Circuit. My name's Ashley Speliotis. I'm director of the Somerville Council on Aging, and I'm here with Michelle today.
Hi,
Hi,
I'm Michelle
welcome.
Deutsch, the Health and Wellness Coordinator for the Somerville Council on Aging.
Yeah, that's right. We're joined with Michelle today to talk about health and wellness in the new year. I think that's one of everybody's favorite topics to think about come January.
Absolutely.
Talk a little bit about the programs that we have at the Council on Aging regarding health and wellness and how people can join. And I think that's a lot to talk about today, but why don't we get started with a little bit about yourself and your role at the Council on Aging.
Okay, yeah. So I have been working at the Council on Aging for about a year, a little over a year, and I'm very happy to be able to organize and provide classes, plenty of classes in person as well as Zoom classes, and now we will be having classes on cable TV available as well in the Somerville Community Cable Network. So you can do some exercise classes at home. We have general exercise class where we combine the Fit for Life program that you may have been used to from before. I teach a little silver sneaker style, we use different props and just work on strengthening, stretching, mobilizing the body, and work on some balance skills, all that good stuff.
I know.
And then we have yoga as well and some other programs available too.
You mentioned, I think for many, many years at the Council on Aging, we've had health and wellness fitness programming in person, but really since the pandemic alternate, we have kind of a robust virtual exercise program now. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think it's a great way for people who may not want to come into the center. Most of our classes are at 167 Holland Street, the main center, and then we have the 9 New Washington Street location on Monday afternoons. But if you don't want to come into the center, you can also join us on Zoom. We have a few classes per week that way, where people can connect for a few minutes before the class. It's kind of a little social. Before and after the class, we talk. But then, you're able to join and try some exercises out for yourself at home.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, that we have the new cable TV classes that will be coming your way soon. And you can do those when they show up on
Exactly.
TV.
Like the virtual classes are still led by instructors, led by yourself, and some strength and balance instructors, some specialty
We do have
classes.
other instructors too.
Yeah,
Yes.
and you still can get some of the benefits of being social and socialization well from the comfort of your own home. And then, like you mentioned, kind of what we had done a few years ago, but are restarting now, are the classes that you pre-tape so that you can really do it at your own pace at home and do the class when you want, when it's on our YouTube station, on the city's YouTube station, or on the cable network. So that's great. But why don't you give us a little bit of background about yourself and your work in the fitness industry?
Okay. For myself, so I started in fitness because I was very into dance in particular. When I first started my work, I did marketing more, but then I was always running out to go dancing on the side, and I was involved. I did tap and jazz, but then I was on the MIT ballroom dance team. I did that for like 5 years. And then after that, I decided, I really loved Latin dancing, so I became a Zumba instructor. And that kind of snowballed from there. So that I got Zumba license in 2011, and then for about 10 years or so after that, I worked mostly for the Cambridge YMCA, but not only did I do Zumba, I did aqua aerobics, aqua Zumba, and I was a personal trainer, I'm a health coach, and I always tended to working with older adults. So that's kind of where I fell into this role, is being able to really get specific about working with people who are a little bit older and may want to work more on balance, strength training, and be able to take classes regularly.
And
for
it's
themselves.
important to exercise our whole lives through,
right?
Of
course.
It helps, they say, with our longevity, and maybe speak to a little bit about that, of why people should consider continuing or maybe even starting with exercise as they get older.
Right. So I used to work with all age groups, but it's been really fulfilling to work with the older adult population in particular, because things like balance and fall prevention are really important aspects to be able to continue to have an improved quality of life throughout the years, to be able to do things like activities of daily living. And I even brought my ball to show some things. Like in classes, we work on opening and closing the doorknob, or we grip into the ball, or work on opening the jar, gripping into the ball, and we work on strengthening the inner outer thighs. We squeeze your legs together for the inner thighs. We use a band sometimes for the outer thighs. That might be a little hard to show right now, but we do. I brought the props to show, but like things like that, or just even little things like working on mobilizing the neck so you can see over the shoulder and be able to drive a few more years, right? So you can see over your shoulder, people behind you. It's just things like that where you just need to be able to continue to move the body so that you can live a better lifestyle in the long run.
Exactly.
And stay independent, right?
Right, and that's really your focus of the classes.
Focus. Yes, exactly.
So maybe I see at the Council on Aging, while you're doing classes, it's really for everybody and all abilities that you have different exercises or different modifications for. Is that right?
Exactly. And a lot of what we do, so when we do get to the balance section of class, I do like to make sure that people can have that chair available, stand behind the chair, or next to the chair to be able to use in case they feel like they need it. They hover their hand over the chair, or maybe even we do stuff by the wall that helps them feel comfortable being able to work on these balance skills, but have a prop available in case they feel like they need it.
What kind of easy skills or exercises could you tell people that would help improve their balance? Because I know that there's a strength and balance class specifically on Mondays that's virtual.
Exactly.
And then a little bit of all of your classes contain some elements of balance skills and working on balance.
Right. So we always do things like we'll try to, just do basic things like stand on one leg, maybe, or work on dynamic balance, meaning that if you were to walk around and suddenly something comes at you, you need to have some reaction skills to be able to move about in space and be able to react to things. So we work on dynamic balance so that maybe you're not just in static balance and hold, maybe you're going to step over the curb forward and back. We work on that plenty of times and see if you can maintain some active balance that way. Another really important way to work on balance is our somatosensory system. I always try to include an element of that. And what that is another way to say that is proprioception. So feeling for where your feet are on the ground and where your body is in space. You try to feel for those things before you do some visual tracking, like maybe your hand is going side center while you're in a tandem stance with one foot in front of the other. I say, feel for where your feet are on the ground, where your body is in space, and then start to look toward that hand, maybe perhaps, so that we're not only focused on our vision, because sometimes our vision, over the years, maybe it gets a little bit blurred, but maybe we have to feel for where we are in space. So it's just another way to get more of our senses involved in balance.
It sounds like doing that one extra movement of looking at your hand could really change the whole exercise and change the whole literal focus of what you're trying to accomplish.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I know you mentioned balance, but you also mentioned activities of daily living and people's posture. And why is that important?
Posture is really important. I didn't even say anything about posture yet, but you got it. Yeah, posture is a really important one because the way we move in our lives, if we're hunched over all day, which happens a lot, especially if we're in this day and age looking at computers and tech neck and all that stuff, we do want to work on opening and stretching through the chest and strengthening the upper back in particular, but also loosening up through the hip flexors and strengthening the glutes as well as the core. Might be a little TMI. All right, whatever. But we work on all these things so that we feel better, so that we don't especially core strength will help deter the low back pain. A lot of people experience low back pain, so I do go over core strength a lot. All these things come together so that we can just move a little bit better. So we're not walking like this, and we have flexibility in the feet is a really important one. Having mobility in the feet, so we're not shuffling the feet around too much. These little things, they really make sense to be able to work on through the long run.
And it sounds like they are little exercises that you can do seated or standing, and maybe without breaking a sweat to get you going.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You don't have to break a sweat at all, actually. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you want to, you could go the extra mile and do a little bit more cardio or something. And I do present it in a way where you have options. You could do more sit to stand, up and down, or more run in your chair or out of your chair. But we do it in a certain way that is comfortable for people, for sure. Yeah. Most of the population is able to do the exercises. A lot of what we do, I do want to point to strength training, how important that is, because especially women, but both men and women over time have the tendency to get maybe osteopenia or osteoporosis, a little bit of bone brittling. So to keep that strength throughout the bones as well as in the muscles, that helps. If you were to fall, you would be a little bit stronger and not have as many breaks or tears in the bones or fractures going on. So all the things we work on, it just helps improve life and be able to keep you walking and physically active. I think it's all really important stuff to be working on in general.
That's great. And it seems like, especially when you showed us the movement with the ball, you could do it outside of the exercise time too.
That's
you're
true.
Teaching tips that you could
watch
use,
TV and squeeze your legs or whatever. Do something.
But if you do want to come to a class, we talked a little bit about the general exercise classes, and those are classes that you have set throughout the week. But then why don't you tell us about some of the specialty classes that we run or that you help coordinate?
Yeah, so sometimes we have extra instructors come in, and they may do things like we have an instructor named Darren. He does Zumba. He'll come and teach some Zumba Gold. So those are when they're tailored to the older adult population, usually they're low impact classes, so we're not jumping too much. A little plyometrics does help build bone density, but it's kind of modest. It's a good workout. That one is cardio based, but we have other classes. Who else comes in? We have Tai Chi sometimes. We have Tarsha coming in for Tai Chi, and that's more mindfulness based classes. So we have ones that are like dance or strength or mindfulness based classes all over the lot. I've taught some chair Pilates, which has been a lovely class to teach, a little bit more strength throughout the body, but I use Joseph Pilates techniques, very specific to that. I've been teaching La Blast, which is ballroom dance fitness, one of my specialties I love, and I enjoy teaching it. It's based on Dancing with the Stars. Plenty of different classes we have going on. We just keep rotating the class schedule. It's called the 6-week class session. Usually it's in a 6-week increment, the specialty class.
That's right. And our one just started a Healthy Steps class. Which is
we have Healthy Steps going on right now with Julie Kaufman.
Yeah. Music and different
She's very
props.
Fun. That one is very fun. It has different props. She brings her little hula skirt and they do the hula or whatever, and then they do jazz routine, and they have their hat and their cane and whatever. Yeah.
A little bit of something for everyone. I'm thinking our music and movement class, which
that one is once a month.
Once a month with Steve, who plays the guitar, and it's I would say specifically or intended for people who might have some cognitive decline to listen to older
memory.
music and move all based in the chair. So I know we see people from completely chair-based exercises to Zumba, which is a little
dancing.
bit.
That is dancing, and you're on your feet more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But in addition to the exercise classes and the specialty, the 6-week programs, online classes, soon to be on the YouTube station, I know you do a component of health and wellness education. And
of course,
can you share like a little bit about why education's important? And we have nutrition programming as well, and then some one-time bigger events. So why don't you share with everybody a little bit about that?
So I do end up, I write articles a little bit, like I'll write about the exercise of the month, and that'll show up in the newsletter. And we also have in social media, we present like the exercise of the week, or maybe not the exercise of the week, but the concept of the week, I'll call it. So I know like we just did one that was very goal focused. It was on SMART goals for this past week. So every Wednesday it shows up the exercise idea of the week, something to work on, and more recently was based on our New Year's resolution. So things to think about in the new year, but that rotates over time. And we have the nutritionist that comes in, and she teaches some wonderful classes, gets people involved. They just had the charcuterie board.
Yes.
Am I saying it right? And over the holidays. And then they just had one yesterday where they're reading the nutrition label. She's always got them doing something and working on something, but it's all about learning and growing. What else?
Yeah.
So we, and then the events, the special events. So we, for my, I had the Olympics this past year, which was the major event for, it was the first thing I tried that was a big event, and it happened to correspond with the Olympics itself, which was really a very fun event where I had all the seniors going around the room, like trying golf, try this, try that. It was for the Summer Olympics or basketball, whatever we had going on. But like the mini version of it was cute, and fun. But we always have the health fair, so that's like the big one, at least once a year, the health fair. And that I coordinate with the nutritionist on that, and we build that event and have all kinds of people come in from different organizations. They come. And then we have presentations. We have presentations once a quarter or so, depending. We just had the Jewish Family Services come in and talk to our seniors. That was a good one. We've had the Cambridge Health Alliance. We've had some other great presentations. So we try to make it based on, health and wellness categories also.
Yeah. I think you mentioned a lot there, and just like people can find our exercises in different modalities, they can find the education as well. Like you mentioned, you can try the new exercise of the month each month in the newsletter.
Exactly.
The daily tips are found on social media or Facebook and Instagram to give you a little, like you said, the SMART goals or little tidbits
tips.
Of,
tips. Yes,
of nutrition, or exercise facts, and then the larger events that are happening throughout the year, where people can hear from different professionals and can really get a sense on just concentrating on balance or concentrating on how to read the food label, because it goes hand in hand, right?
It does.
Exercise, health, and wellness.
Protein and exercise, building muscles, it all goes together.
It is all connected.
Yeah.
And because everything is all connected most of the time, what do you think is the most important takeaway that seniors should have, or a little snippet of information for seniors to walk away from the show with today?
Yeah. So one of the main things that I like to do is in my classes, I'm big on something called edutainment, which is like, I don't want it to just be educational. I want it to be exciting. Enjoyable. I want it to be something that they look forward to doing. So not just in my programs, but in all the other programs, I like to think that it's something you learn about and you want to grow with, and trying to become more knowledgeable and try to keep the body moving, but you want to do it in a way that's enjoyable to you, to continue a routine that makes you feel better.
Right.
So,
I mean, I think, what you're saying is that you want to feel better as a person, but also if it's
in the
entertainment, better in the community, but also have like a good sense of motivation, or a good motivation to continue, because sometimes now in January we have a lot of motivation, but maybe in February not so much. And do you have any tips about motivation and exercise, or how to stay motivated?
As I said, I mean, I'm going to go back to something I said earlier, is like I found that I was really into dancing, and that's my passion and whatever, but I feel like it's important, even if it is, the general exercise kind of classes, to find something that makes you genuinely happy, that makes you feel like, oh, your mind is working, your body is moving, everything's connected. And I did kind of try to mention the social aspect of it. When people do the classes together, it's kind of nice to be able to connect with other people in the classes. And I think that provides an element of enjoyment also.
Yeah, because people can get involved at the Council on Aging in different ways, and there's different types of classes, like you mentioned, your ongoing classes, or a 6-week program, or some drop-in ones like your walking group, where you're out in the community.
The walking group. And they're all free programs, by the way. I think that's important to say. It doesn't really cost anything, so what's there to lose? Like you just got, you just got to come and try it out. So,
and if maybe you can tell everybody how they could get involved, how they sign up for classes, or find out about classes.
Well, first of all, getting the newsletter is a helpful tool, because it tells you the schedule, and we do change the schedule every so often. So it's good to be able to see it either in print. We can send it to you in print. You can always call us or write to us on email, however you connect with the center. You connect with us, and we'll start sending you that newsletter in print or an email. And then you'll also get a weekly reminder of what the schedule is, if you'd like that. And then you just either come to classes, or we'll send you a link to the Zoom classes. That's another option. And everything is listed.
That's right. Or of course they can give you a call.
I'm
give you a call. And
also,
I think it's important to mention that these classes are geared towards everybody, but sometimes it's nice to come and watch or monitor a class first, and that's an option as well, especially our virtual ones and coming in. So that's great. I mean, it sounds.
We do have the waiver form, so I have people sign a waiver form, but that's that's like the only thing that
the only requirement.
The only requirement is sign your waiver form, and you'll be able to take your class. How about that?
That's
I think it's a deal.
As you mentioned, all of our exercise classes are free, whether they're online or in person. So that's a great benefit that we're able to contribute back to the community. And it's really just giving you a call to let them know that they're going to be coming, so that we have adequate space and to keep everybody safe. But beyond that, there is lots of ways for people to connect with the Council on Aging, and we certainly hope they do. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah,
and thank you all at home for hearing a little bit about health and wellness in the new year.
Excellent. Thank you.